अनिल सर, आवाज नहीं आ रही आपकी।
Anilji, we are not getting the voice. पीयूष जी देखिए क्या प्रॉब्लम है।
Yes. Now am I audible?
Yeah.
Now am I audible, sir?
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
बिल्कुल सुनाई पड़ रहा है।
हाँ बिल्कुल। इस बुधवार की इस थेरेपिस्ट क्लास में आप सभी का स्वागत और अभिनंदन है। संस्थान को 26 वर्ष पूर्ण हो चुके हैं और यह संस्थान 27वें वर्ष में प्रवेश कर चुका है। इस बुधवार की क्लास में बहुत सारे नए लोग, नए थेरेपिस्ट जो अभी कोर्स ज्वाइन किए हैं, वह सब लोग भी जुड़े हैं और यह क्लास सभी के लिए यूजफुल होगी। आज यह 11th क्लास जो डिजिटल मोड पे चल रही है, आज 11वीं क्लास है। सतत रूप से यह क्लासेस प्रयागराज संस्थान की तरफ से आपको प्रोवाइड की जा रही है और पिछले करीब इस लॉकडाउन से पहले तक वर्षों से संस्थान के प्रेरणा स्रोत आदरणीय श्री MP खेमका सर और वर्तमान अध्यक्ष आदरणीय श्री JP अग्रवाल सर के नेतृत्व में यह क्लास सभी थेरेपिस्ट के लिए प्रयागराज संस्थान के सभागार में निरंतर रूप से चलती थी, जिसमें अलग अलग विषयों पर यह क्लास आयोजित होती थी और सभी थेरेपिस्ट इसका लाभ लेते थे। लेकिन इस डिजिटल मोड के समय में यह अद्भुत संयोग है कि पूरे विश्व के लोग, पूरे विश्व के थेरेपिस्ट ग्लोबली यह क्लास लाइव आपको मिल रही है और घर बैठे आप यह ज्ञान प्राप्त कर रहे हैं। तो आज इस क्लास को प्रारंभ करें इसके पूर्व हम चलते हैं हेडक्वार्टर मिंटो रोड, वहां से प्रार्थना आयोजित होगी और उसके तत्पश्चात आगे का कार्यक्रम होगा। तो हम प्रार्थना के लिए आमंत्रित करते हैं रीता पांडे और अंशु अग्रवाल जी को।
आज की क्लास शुरू करने से पहले हम 3 बार ओम शब्द का पारायण करेंगे। उसके बाद हम अपनी स्पाइन को सीधी करके संस्थान की प्रार्थना को शुरू करेंगे। वह शक्ति हमें दो दयालु दे, कर्तव्य मार्ग पर डट जावे। वह शक्ति हमें दो दयालु दे, कर्तव्य मार्ग पर डट जावे। पर सेवा पर उपकार में हम निज जीवन सफल बना जावे। वह शक्ति हमें दो दयालु दे, कर्तव्य मार्ग पर डट जावे। हम दीन दुखी निबलो बिकलो के सेवक बन संताप हरे। जो हैं बिछुड़े भूले भटके उनको तारे खुद तर जावे, वह शक्ति हमें दो दयाली, कर्तव्य मार्ग पर डट जावे। छल द्वेष दंभ पाखंड झूठ अन्याय से निस दिन दूर रहे, जीवन हो शुद्ध सरल अपना, सुचि प्रेम सुधार से बरसावे, वह शक्ति हमें दो दयाली, कर्तव्य मार्ग पर डट जावे। निज आन मान मर्यादा का प्रभु ध्यान रहे, अभिमान रहे, जिस देव भूमि में जन्म लिया, बलिदान उसी पर हो जावे, वह शक्ति हमें दो दयाली, कर्तव्य मार्ग पर डट जावे, पर सेवा पर उपकार में हम निज जीवन सफल बना जावे।
धन्यवाद रीता और अंशु जी। प्रार्थना के तत्पश्चात हम आमंत्रित करते हैं एमपी खेमका एक्यूप्रेशर कॉलेज के प्रिंसिपल और सीनियर वाइस प्रेसिडेंट को, श्री एपी सिंह सर को।
नमस्कार, मैं आप सबका स्वागत करता हूं, सारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स का। आज के लेक्चर्स प्रत्येक बुधवार की भांति आपके समक्ष होंगे और ये आपके लिए बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है। टॉपिक आपने पहले पढ़ा होगा और पढ़ने के बाद आपने समझा होगा कि यह कितना आवश्यक है। हाउ कैन यू इम्प्रूव योर इम्यून सिस्टम? On the whole, your immune system does a remarkable job in defending you against disease-causing microorganisms. But sometimes when it falls, a germ, a virus affects you, makes you ill, and the body is unable to protect. So a healthy immune system can defeat invading pathogens. I remember long back, I was just seeing a lecture visualizing by Michael N. Starbuck, doctor, the PhD from Harvard Medical School. So he was just showing how these pathogens, they are, what is the action, these bacteria, and how they are eaten. That is phagocytosis. तो इसमें आपको यह जानना है कि जो phagocytes होते हैं, phagocytes are cells that protect the body by ingesting harmful foreign particles that harm you, bacteria and other things, viruses, and make you ill. So today, two learned professors, two learned lecturers are here, and they will tell very important things to you and how you can protect yourself by improving your diet, by changing your life system, what are the role of vitamin C, E, A, D, folate, that is folic acid, iron, selenium, zinc, etc. And Professor Kamath will tell you about nutrients, their classifications, nutrients के प्रकार, उनके वर्गीकरण, diet and its relationship, and role of nutrition in health, all that she will be telling you. And after that, you will have a lecture from our president, Professor J.P. Agrawal, and he will be telling you about the correlation and treatment of these vitals. The vitals, the D-dimer test, you know the thickness of the blood, you come to know about the thickness of the blood, and the CRP, raised CRP, they are harmful to you. So correlation and treatment of these vitals with integrative acupressure therapy system. So that you will be learning here. I welcome both the learned speakers and Professor Anil Singh. Please continue for the lecture.
थैंक यू एपी सिंह सर। अब हम आमंत्रित करते हैं आज के लेक्चरर डॉक्टर सुशीला कामत जी को, जो स्पेशलाइज्ड एमडी इन पैथोलॉजी एंड ट्रांसफ्यूजन मेडिसिन आपने किया है एंड रिसीव्ड गोल्ड मेडल इन एमबीबीएस इन गायनेकोलॉजी, ऑब्स्टेटिक्स एंड पैथोलॉजी। और रोल ऑफ विटामिन्स, मिनरल्स एटसेट्रा, इस पे आपका आज का सब्जेक्ट है। प्लीज वेलकम डॉक्टर सुशीला कामत।
Dr. Sushita Kamath, you are most welcome. Please continue your lecture.
Please unmute, Doctor. Yes.
Yes, I have. Namaskar to everybody. I hope all of you can hear me and all of you can see me. At the start, I want to place on record my deepest obeisance to the most revered, and unfortunately I couldn't meet him, but I know him from his writings, his publications. Our M.K. Khemka ji is really a very, very godly person, and now the mantle of leading this august body of ASPAS has passed on to very, very capable and extremely dynamic and totally self-giving Agarwal ji, P. Agarwal ji, who's constant mentor and guide so many therapists in this alternative space. And I too have got hooked on to this alternative space, see how we can bring about a sync and bring about integrative sciences, where we can blend our knowledge to bring about much more richness as well as effective treatment and healing tools. Healing is different from treatment. Treatment, you do something. Healing is something that you do from within. You have the prana energy that you are going to harness. That is something that is very unique of this alternative space, which engages me deeply. And AP Singh ji, namaskar to you. I mean, you are also one of the dignitaries. I don't know who else are the dignitaries. Each and every one of you, my pranam and greetings for a healthy, safe, and troubled days that we are going through. So today, actually, I spoke to Agarwal ji and I didn't know where to start and where to end. The chapter on minerals. Can you see my screen? Is my screen visible? I don't think so.
Yeah, no, it's still not visible.
Okay. Just let me finish this introduction and then I'll go to my screen. Yeah, now it's visible. Now, at the beginning, before I started this lecture, I wanted to know, the whole discussion started with vitamin D, because we were talking about the role of vitamin D and its effect upon COVID, in times of virus infection that is plaguing everybody and making life hell and terrorizing the whole human race all over the world. And now, particularly in India, we are going through the second phase and we are expecting to go through a third phase. So we have to be prepared for it. And Sir Agarwal sir also felt that we must start with the most fundamental requirement, that is food. Food has to be right. The thing is that you have to do everything right as far as your food to buttress, to strengthen, and to make your immune system strong. AP Singh sir just told about immune system and what requires to go into that immune system. It's still a very big area for research. The more we find out about the immune system, the more there is to find out. Believe me, there is so much of research, even growing currently right now. I did a lot of references, had me really had my head spinning, because the moment you have one thing, it is refuted by some other author. It is going on like that. We are still in uncertain waters. We are still not sure about exactly how the COVID attacks our immune system, how it takes the better of it. What is it that is making it so terrible as it seems to be? So we started, and I'm from Bangalore, for those who are meeting me for the first time. I'm an allopath. I have more than 42 years of experience in my line. And after retirement, I came across my guru, Mr. M.B. Ravindra from Bangalore, his friend, mentor, guide, philosopher, and in everything rolled into one. And he was the one who had inspired me to join this line. I can tell you, I'm not disappointed. And at every moment, I get so much of encouragement from him, as well as from ASPES and all its functionaries, Anil Singh ji, Mara Vishal ji, everyone, including Karan ji, to whom I'm indebted, because they helped me so much during the time of my projection of my teaching material for the 6th semester I'm taking this time. Any semester I can take. So my indebtedness I have to express here, because at every moment they saw that my life was comfortable in projection, taking care of all the background work, coordinating, getting in touch. Had glitches of staff not showing up, staff falling sick with COVID. All these things we have somehow managed to get through. Your cooperation, with the blessings of Khemka ji, and the active participation of each and every one who belongs to ASPES. I also consider myself part of ASPES, and so it is a real pleasure to be here today. Now, what I want to talk about is food, nutrition, and life relationships. Please understand, I'm talking to here about what it means to your life. The food is just something that is inanimate. We see, we eat, live, we defecate next day, and then we go on. What does it do to your life? Life is something different to just inanimate living just like that. See, it involves lifestyle, what lifestyle you adopt and how it is impacting your life, either making you sick or making you better. As therapists, each and every one of you will come across these crossroads when you will see, what is it? Is there something more that I can contribute? Is there something more I need to know? So I've touched on those points which take you a long way, and more maybe no regular class will teach you. I can take a lecture, I can take a 6 months class on nutrition, teach you everything from beginning to end. It's not the thing of learning something. You must learn what life is and what this food and what we are learning is doing to our life, and the hands that you hold when you're treating your patient. So I want you to remember that you are healers, not just treatment givers. You are healers. So you should feel inspired. What you know is making a difference to another life. That is your journey. You're in a very, very, privileged, extremely, godly position. So I hope you will respect it. I respect each and every one of you who is healing, making life better for another human being, wiping even one little tear. So now to come to there, to begin, I wanted to talk to you about like Khemka ji, our AP Singh Sahab said, I will tell you about selenium, I'll tell you about zinc and chromium and all the other rare metals. I originally thought I'd start. I found it was a very boring lecture. One. The second thing is bookish. Third thing is that it is not really going to translate into something that you're going to catch on straight away. I hope at the end of the lecture, you would have got some points to think about and to work on, to read, to go move forward. I'm always available to answer your questions. Never feel diffident. Like I said, send me a message, may take 1 or 2 days. I will definitely answer your question and answers. I've been doing this right through to all the students to whom I've been taking lectures, because it is my mission in life that I must see that every therapist passing out from ASPES becomes the best. Now, what is food? Food is, what is it that you eat? Food is something that goes in through your mouth and exists the next morning through your anus? No. It is a life-giving and sustainable, edible substance, something that goes through the mouth. Okay, but now in Western sciences or the allopathic sciences, you also have food which can go through your veins. Please remember, nowadays they feed you through veins in the liquid form, and also they feed you through a Ryle's tube, a tube that is passed into your nose and goes into your gut, and you are fed through that. There are patients who are on the ventilator for so many days. All of them are fed either through the vein or through the nose. So through the nose, they have got high protein diets which are fed to them, and they can survive almost indefinitely. So that is the advancement of science. But for us, as traditionally we know, food is a life-giving substance that is taken in through the mouth. And what is its function? What does it do? Why do we need to take food in? We need to take food because we need provision of nutrition. And all the food that goes into the mouth, therefore, are called nutrients, either in the form of gross nutrients, large molecule nutrients or very subtle trace elements that AP Singh Sahab was talking about. Therefore, there are constituents of the food that must be supplied to the body in suitable amounts. This body requires certain way of nutrition, certain amount of nutrition. Every animal, plant, everybody requires nutrition, but each species requires nutrition in a particular manner. And man, being the highest evolved creature in creation, has got specific needs that are actually of a higher level. And we also make use of the lower level of creation, that is plants, animals, in whichever form that we get, including minerals and all that is provided to us in the cosmos. Therefore, constitutes the food must be supplied so that we get right amounts at the right time to the right species. That is the need of food. This includes, all of you know, carbohydrates, that which give you energy. And you have proteins which builds your broken down tissues and helps you to grow, or to get more muscular, stronger. Then you have fats which are a reserve of your stores of energy, which will be used. Your carbohydrates are not available when you are undergoing starvation and food is not available. That is also made use of, or that vision also has been made. Then you have water. You can't live without water more than 3 days. Like say you can live for 3 weeks without food. You can live 3 weeks without sleep. When it comes to water, you can't live more than 3 days, because water is a fundamental constituent of every cell of our body. So that is what it mainly depends upon. You have the other supportive articles of food, which are vitamins and minerals. These are like, boosters. These are supportive activities for when the metabolism of fat, carbohydrate and protein takes place in the body. And of course, water is very essential for metabolic processes. These vitamin and minerals, those who have done chemistry will know, there are what they call, catalysts, something that promote and help and make complete the metabolic process to ensure that it finally reaches its end stage. So those are the role of vitamins and minerals. Now, food comes from the external environment. Actually, it comes, as I told you, from the external environment, and it is from both living and non-living sources, both plant and animal kingdoms. There are non-vegetarians, vegetarians, as well as, but the major, most healthiest sources are plant kingdom, which gives us a lot of fresh, vitamin-filled, vibrant food. And there are 6 classes: proteins, carbohydrates. This is just a recap. I just put it there for you to have a look at it, because I mentioned it in one line here. So this is a recap to tell you what are the main 6 constituents of food. Of nutrients. Nutrients is anything that goes in to give nutrition. It's called a nutrient. Okay. Proteins, carbohydrates, fats, vitamins, minerals, and water are all required, are all nutrients. Many times we forget water. We should not forget water, because it's a very, very important constituent. Now we're talking about the nutrients, 6 classes. Now I'm just going a sort of a superficial recap. Many of you are already, I think, enrolled for classes. Many have already joined either the correspondence as well as the campus course. So all of you know or already have attended this semester classes. And these things is taught in the first semester. What is nutrition? It comes along with digestion. And it's the portion for the first semester, Manav Sharir Vigyan. So in that, you would have already have done this, just a little recap. Carbohydrates. What are carbohydrates? Body's main source of energy or calories. What is calories? Calories are nothing but the heat that is burned. And when this fuel, carbohydrates provide the fuel for the body, create the warmth in the body, the heat in the body that you get, all that has to be provided. Is called, when food gets digested, assimilated, and distributed, it creates heat through circulation. It goes to all parts of the body. That causes heat, and it is quick energy. This quick energy is through carbohydrates. It is made up of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen compounds. Protein also is another very similar kind of main building block of the nutrient, food pyramid, let us say, and it supplies energy. has amino acids. It has its protein, smaller building blocks are called amino acids. When you break down protein, you get amino acids. These are building blocks for every cell in the body. You know, every cell requires to have its walls replaced. It requires to have the walls strengthened, new cells to be made by building walls, so, and building up cells. So all that building material has to come through protein. Now fats, what are fats? This is they transport nutrients and provide storage and insulation for the body. So this is fat in the liquid form. You have fat, cholesterol, and the other things is also it's a part of fat. It circulates through your body and goes to different parts of the body to make up hormones, make up. The various hormones are made from cholesterol. So similarly, they go for various functions. So you had liquid fat circulating in your blood, which is called as lipid profile. You must have heard in your lab reports. It circulates. Apart from that, you've got fixed storages, fixed areas where fat is available. Fat is available in fixed areas, like you see in your body, arms. In certain areas, we have more fat on the abdomen in older people, or you will have a lot of fat on the omentum, and on your, shape of your body is given by this fat. The important function is it is a standby for carbohydrate and energy. Supposing storages, it stores and keeps and gives you this energy from this source at a time when you don't have any carbohydrate available. Fat can never make protein, but fat can certainly replace and make carbohydrate. Got it? Then you have vitamins. Vitamins definitely are needed because they act as coenzymes. They act as catalysts. Means something that pushes the activity of all the major metabolic functions of carbohydrate, protein, and fat is completely sort of organized in every step. These vitamins come into play. They act in very small amounts in the diet. They are present. They're of great importance, and they assist in the chemical reactions. Every vitamin has a specific job in the body. See, they don't want to crowd up and one vitamin do all the job, or one vitamin running helter-skelter. They've got specified roles and they have specified activity, so that the body stores of each vitamin can be made up through our food. Each vitamin, therefore, can't replace another vitamin. Vitamin C cannot take the role of A, or A cannot take the role of the vitamin C. So they have got specific jobs and specific functions. So deficiencies in vitamins always become an issue because the one can't replace the other. Minerals. Minerals are like vitamins also, but they are used in the body to promote chemical reactions, just like vitamins. These are more compound and these are more complex chemical substances, vitamins, while minerals are mainly, like calcium, phosphorus, mostly inorganic in nature. These are organic. Vitamins are organic, while minerals are inorganic in nature. And of course, water. Water is the most important nutrient, and we cannot go and survive on the moon. Only reason why there is no humanity or there's no life on any other planet that we have tried to get nearby to see is because they don't have water. The moment you have water, there is always a chance to be some form of life on that particular planet. It makes up 55 to 75% of our body weight. Please remember, about 75% of our entire volume of each cell. Okay. You have, what are the functions of these what do these nutrients really do? They provide elements which are metabolized. Metabolized means what? Used up by each cell. Each cell, like a small mini factory, uses what material comes in, churns on it and works on it and brings out what it's supposed to do. It's a carbohydrate. It gives out energy, heat, and activity, and robustness to do all your work. So generation of energy is one of the requirements of a nutrient. Second thing is, makes development, repair, and maintenance cells possible. Supposing you have new cells to be made, you're having to repair old cells, or existing cells to be maintained during wear and tear. In the gut, how much of wear and tear there is as the food goes, and the cells are putting out so much of, digestive juices. They pinch off the tips of their, cytoplasm. They're losing their bodies. bit by bit into the lumen of the gut, make those enzymes. So when that happens, you have to replace it. For replacement, rebuilding, repair, and maintenance of every cell is done by the proteins that we take. Then it helps in protecting the body. Here we're talking about some tissues which have got the function of immunity. Immunity, everybody says. Immunity means what? Immunity actually means resistance against. You are immune to something means you are resistant to something. So it helps you in protecting and regulating all the tissue. Not only regulating the tissue functions, it also fights invading bacteria, organisms, chemical insults. Even aging is one such insult to your own body by your own self, which you cannot stop. And the vagaries of weather, climate, time, all these things tell on your body. So you need substances which come in through the food, give you protection against the various breakdowns as well as attacks by external organisms or environmental conditions. Then it takes care of building, repairing, I told you, as I said, maintaining the body. It does it in a fabulous manner. Apart from this, it takes care to make sure that there are some kind of activities which, what they call time-regulated manner. They decide which cell has to die, it's called apoptosis, and which cell has to live. It's different from, fighting against an organism and dying. That death is different to the death that takes place in your own body. They are doing replacements of tissues. So when you do, I hope I have an opportunity to teach this subject all over again in the first semester. Been relegated to the senior semesters, but I love my fundamental classes, particularly homeostasis, digestion, food. Everything has a purpose. If you look at it with an approach to say, there is something, there must be a reason. If there is a reason, how does that reason work and why? And anatomy and physiology is so closely interlinked. You cannot imagine. Just like yin and yang, if you have anatomy, you have to have a function. There is a structure, there must be a function. If you have a function, it has to be supported by structure. So they're so intimately closely related. And how this anatomy, such a wonderful machine we have. This wonderful anatomy and physiology are so closely linked. Each and every cell, each and every organ is linked to each other to bring about this beautiful human body that we possess, and to make sure that it lives from birth, maybe 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 years, unless we're threatened by terrible disease like COVID. And it ensures sustenance of life in the best way possible to make life healthy. This is actually the most important line of my lecture. What is food doing? It sustains your life in the best possible way. You can imagine, supposing you have something more of, it will take in and try and store it. If it has less of, it tries to recruit newer functions into its own activity. Such a wonderful system we have in this body. Very fortunate, most important of all, have this intellect which no other mammal or anything can talk about. Though the difference between the chimpanzee and us is only 2% genetics. In genetics, in our genes, if you say in the genetic material, there's only a difference of 2%. That 2% has decided you have an intellect, you can build an atom bomb, or you can go to space. You can do the most astounding mental activities. So we have a brain is so different. If you look at nature and you follow biological evolution, it tells you how lucky and fortunate we really are to be human beings. What is diet? This is just fundamental differences, some major issues I wanted to point out to you all, because nobody tells you in a class lecture. I will come, I'll open a book, vitamin A does this, vitamin B does this, it is present in this food, and if you have deficiencies, you will have these diseases. You can get in any book. What I'm telling you, please listen carefully, because nobody will really go into the depths of it. Nobody told me when I was a medical student. So I thought I must tell all of you something that if you can really make use of what I'm trying to tell you can really go places. Diet is total solid or liquid foods, which are, it may be solid or liquid food, which is consumed by an individual or a population or a group of individuals, either on an average basis or during a specified period of time. That means during lunchtime, okay? Diet. Diet means is an arrangement of a group of type of food. You don't have the same thing every day. You may have, the same maybe rice. You alter the rice in various means and have it. That's your staple food. Apart from that, the vegetables, your manner of cooking it, your placement, everything changes, right? So food science is a great science which goes a long way in making sure that your diet does not get monotonous. Human brain of all the mothers in the house works. They make sure that you don't get fed up of it. And when you are hungry, when you eat something, you have the sense of great satisfaction, right? So what are the types and varieties? There are different types of varieties. Non-vegetarian diet, vegetarian diet. You can have a European diet. You can have an Indian diet. You can have a Lebanese diet. So it means the kind of food that they have. Food is not just a lump of something. It is arrangement, which is the way they present things and the way they eat it. Some with chopsticks, some with the fingers, some with the spoon and fork. That the way of eating, that's again based upon our cultural values and differences. So the human being has evolved such a brain. So he has had so many ways of presenting food, of cooking food, finding edible things in the world outside. Eating all this goes into what we call diet. And the various differences, ingredients. Have you seen the masala box? The masala box is actually an Ayurvedic bhandar, because there are so many herbs in it, so many natural things in it, which have got both curative as well as supportive as well as nutritive value. There is so much variety and it's taste based. Of course, it also depends upon where you grew up, how you have been accustomed to new things. If I'm born South Indian, I can't do without my dosa. But you see a North Indian, he'll come and say, "Arey, South Indians eat only dosa idli." So I've never taken it amiss. I grew up all over India. So I'm used to all kinds of cuisine, Bengali, Punjabi, Marathi, South Indian. South Indian also, we've got 3 areas. Each one is different from the other. And it's amazing, really. I don't think any culture has as much variety as we have in our diet. Diet means our food and how it goes into our systems. Okay, now the nutrients, that constituents of the, what is the difference between diet and nutrients? The constituents of the food. उसके अंदर में क्या है? What is it made up of? And what is it bringing to the body? And are we taking it in suitable amounts? Is the number of calories? Is it for our activity? Is it enough for our level of what should we say situation? If I'm a growing child, I need more protein, and if I'm a stressed or very hardworking person, eats very less, then I need more fat. So all these things are decided based upon your lifestyle and your activity. Nutrition is the process. These are the constituents nutrients. Nutrition is the process by which the body utilizes the food consumed for growth, maintenance of health and well-being. If you have all the ingredients, if your diet is well balanced, your diet is well balanced and the nutrients are adequate and it provides, and your body has the capacity to process what nutrients you take in and bring it up to the adequate level of utility, and you look after your body in the right way. It doesn't mean just eating food. There are so many things around food. You have to do activity. You have to work your body. There's a time to eat. There's a time to sleep. There's a time to rest. There's a time to work. So all these have to be integrated. And finally, you come over to a healthy, well-adjusted human being. Human being is very different from an animal. An animal eats. What does it eat? Whatever it gets. Grass, puss, whatever it finds when it's hungry. We are not like that. Our eating, diet, our nutrition, everything goes in, but our diet that every mother in every home gets out and puts on the table for her family is a work of art, is a work of imagination, is a work of how to make things tastier, better, and healthier. So we must make use of our exquisite skills of making food, transferring it from the rawest to the newest, but at the same time maintaining all these nutrients in the best form, in the best way, so it reaches you to give you the best results. That is the ultimate goal of nutritional sciences in the world for us as human beings. The context now, I thought I will talk to you about so many things. Let me start with the vitamin A. Okay, let me start with first fact. What is a calorie? All those descriptions I'm not going to go through here. What we are going to talk about is what is relevant. I've been given 45 minutes. Time is running like literally on wheels. I thought I will just expose you and just give you glimpses of what is going on in the world, what has to be done and why. In COVID situation, what are the nutrients that you do require? Okay. And and I'll just give you glimpses of what research in the world is going on about. Actually, I wanted to talk to you all about microbiome. It is a very exciting line about the bacteria in our body. You know, the bacteria in the body, we ourselves, you know, genetic material that we talk DNA, RNA, of the DNA and RNA, 98% of the DNA, RNA comes from not from our own cell DNA, our own cells in the body is only 2%, while the bacterial, DNA is more than 98%. So we're actually more, we are what our bacteria in our gut is. It is called the gut. You know, where is in the gut? Large intestine. It is called microbiome. It is a world in itself. So that word has been coined. Maybe sometime later on, a very exciting line. I will tell you what it does and how lifestyle and practices have moved far away from the natural ways as it was created by nature, and what havoc it is causing in our lives. That is a full, I think, 2-hour lecture. So I thought maybe I'll just give you the other glimpses. I just touch upon microbiome, okay, and tell you about what your food principles and how you can make your nutrition better. In the context of the present time, we shall discuss important issues that will help us to understand our situation. Relevance of this talk is to show you the importance of nutrients that we must take care and to see that there is no deficiency. If you have deficiency, it will only make your present situation worse. Enable us to combat the raging pandemic effects on our health and bodies. I'm sorry, this is very badly typed. So excuse the errors. Now here, the most important vitamin that we need during the pandemic is vitamin D. What is vitamin D? Vitamin D, you must have heard about it. So every, during this time, must make sure, and all of us who are going through the present times must check to see vitamin D levels are normal. Because if your vitamin D levels are normal, your capability to fight the COVID virus are compromised very markedly. You don't want to fall sick with COVID. We can't help it. If you get the COVID infection also, we should be able to adequately fight against, the body must fight against it, remove it from the body. Okay? Fat soluble, it is a fat soluble vitamin and is found in 2 important forms, that is cholecalciferol, cholecalciferol and cholecalciferol. Calciferol may be derived from plant sterols, like you have an ergosterol that is found in broccoli. In the Western ways, they talk about it found in so many animal forms. So the animal forms are called ergocalciferols. While the one that we get is a natural sunshine vitamin, actually. The only vitamin that comes from another source apart from what we take in through food. It is the ultraviolet rays. Also convert the cholesterol. Remember I told you, cholesterol goes into the function of making not only your hormones, it also goes into formation of vitamin D. We have got fatty substance under the skin, that subcutaneous fat. From there is it manufactures. We've got certain receptors there that take in the ultraviolet rays of the sun, and there is a process by which it makes vitamin D. What its functions? Main functions are that it promotes the intestinal absorption of calcium and phosphorus, and it promotes bones resorption, dissolution. It is constantly, if you see calcium, it is under a constant movement in the body. It's not just stuck. Is what is called minerals that are deposited in bones. They are kept there. Apart from that, there are storage so that they can be used if required from the bones. So that entire that it is called homeostasis. This homeostasis of calcium is maintained by vitamin D. It helps in the, of course, it's under the influence of parathormone. It's also calcitonin and also vitamin D. Wherever it's required, it removes the bone from the removes the calcium from the bones and deposits elsewhere. So in children, it prevents rickets. It increases tubular resorption of phosphate. You know, the kidney is a very strange organ. It has got multiple functions. It not only ultra filters the waste from the body, it also secretes. It not only secretes, it also excretes certain substances. So there in the kidney, phosphate is actually reabsorbed from the tubules. When it comes out in the ultrafilter, it goes through the various tubes. It is reabsorbed based upon what you require in the body. So therefore, it has a variable effect on reabsorption. It controls, rather I won't say controls, but it has a very big role to play in calcium metabolism. It facilitates calcium deposition in bones and vice versa. Wherever it's required, supposing the bones and the teeth, when you have a fracture, definitely it will take from one side, one place of the body, put it in the other place, the calcium. And also it absorbs from the your diet, which you are taking. Vitamin D, the actual role of vitamin D or in human body started some 20 years ago, you know, in the research to what vitamin D, people didn't understand vitamin D too well. So only 20 years ago they started and they found flabbergasted, absolutely, they were, you know, wonderstruck with the various ways vitamin D. So vitamin, they thought, it has got tremendous activities. It can act as an anti-inflammatory, it can act also as an antiviral, directly as an antiviral. So that's the main role of vitamin D. So they are now finding out even more. It's a pro-hormone. It acts like a hormone. It's also a nutrient. So therefore, it has got a unique function. Vitamin D receptors are found all over the body, though more in the inactive form. You know, even though under the skin, it's more in an inactive form. It was used earlier in fibromyalgia and other autoimmune diseases. But studies in 1.4 million subjects in the biobank studies, this is the latest advanced research area, they thought, they didn't know, don't have really actually what they called, double blind, absolutely clinical trials have not shown up very good results for vitamin D. But recently, this, in this pandemic, they found that all those who have been given vitamin D have done very well. Just like in vitamin C is given when you have got scurvy. Scurvy is a disease. We have bleeding gums. It was first discovered in British sailors who went abroad, and for days on end, they never had any fresh vegetables, fruits where vitamin C. So they used to, bleed from the gums, and it used to be a terrible mess. So those people, and their health suffered. They couldn't work, were dull, used to, lie in a corner, no energy, nothing. All that was right by just giving lemon juice, lime. So they used to carry lime when they used to go, lemons, on the journey. So vitamin C has proved when the moment they took vitamin C in the form of the lemon juice, they got good. Similarly, it is conclusively proved during this pandemic in the biobank studies that vitamin D definitely helps COVID, a positive benefit to the patient in COVID. Okay. And also there's another vitamin that is very important, as Sir was talking a little earlier, he was talking of folic acid. It prevented neural tube defects in fetuses. I've seen that, they used to have spina bifida. The spine would never close, they would never fuse. And the spinal cord would be, the vertebra will never fuse, and the spinal cord will be exposed. It used to be a terrible thing because they could not, invariably there will be infection, and then survival is very, very difficult. In these cases, they found that giving folic acid, one of the vitamins, caused pregnant women who were used to giving birth to spina bifida babies stopped. They had normal children. So this used to be given as a supportive vitamin during pregnancy. So as it is important in the other places, you must give make sure that your vitamin D levels are normal. Otherwise, you will not be able to fight the COVID, what should we say, the, the COVID virus adequately. Okay. It has been seen that in whiter skins, it is formed 20 times quicker. Can you beat it? Why we have the dark skins? Because we are we are supposed to have abundant sunlight. It is found in average, all Indians have less vitamin D, while the Westerners who have got no melanin pigment make 20 times more vitamin C. Why is this? They have found that melanin protects and shields the ultraviolet rays. Well, for the white man, he doesn't have melanin pigment so much, he or she, and then the rays are able to reach the layer and convert the inactive form of vitamin D into the active form. So that's why it is more imperative for us Indians to be very careful of our levels of vitamin D. Though there are widespread sort of research in our country has not established really normals for us, but at least between 20 and 30 international units of vitamin D we must have in our blood to make sure, particularly these times, that our immune system is not compromised. It is produced in the skin and circulated first to the liver. I told you in the skin, it is produced by UV light falling upon the layer of inactive receptors of vitamins D, and from there, when it forms one form of slightly more active form of vitamin D, but it's not fully active, then it is taken to the liver first, where it's changed to a more active form. From there, it sends it to the kidney, where it becomes the actual most active form. So, earlier they have noticed that kidney patients in the sense patients who have had kidney failure used to have, there was a relationship. The bones used to get very osteoporotic. They were demineralized, became very loose, and had no actually calcium deposit on the bones. When all those people who are suffering from kidney failure. So what is the association between this? It was established and found it was the active form of vitamin D. Okay. Now it is produced, and then the vitamin D acts as anti-inflammatory as well as antiviral in COVID disease. They've actually established it and found that at some stages it acts as anti-inflammatory. And if you give it, in the late stages, it becomes antiviral when you have the storm. You have the entire storm, which is the inflammatory storm. During that time, it acts as inflammatory. And in the initial stages, vitamin D acts as an antiviral by fighting against, making it more difficult for the virus to survive and replicate the body. So that is the role of vitamin D in the body. Make sure that you understood the role of vitamin C well. Apart from this, in COVID times, we require the element zinc. Zinc is a very marvelous element, trace element, which plays such an important role, particularly in viral infections, and of course, naturally during COVID times. You have to take its role as sacrosanct. Spread is faster. Zinc prevents the spread of disease, and the outcomes are worse in those people who have got low zinc in their body. So as a routine, most COVID protocols now say that you must include zinc in the diet of every normal person, especially if those who are below the poverty line. They were given some nutritional supplements. The best supplement is zinc. It has been seen 25% of the population in developing worlds, sub-Saharan Africa, some other underdeveloped countries, all have more than 25% deficiency. That is because they don't eat nuts, fruits, all those things which are having zinc as its constituents. And they have only cereals, you see. So they find this as a deficiency disease. And because they have deficiency of zinc, they find that COVID spread much faster in those areas. And it is known for its antiviral immunity building. Along with zinc, the other vitamin of telling importance is vitamin C. Vitamin C has always been anti-infective. Whenever you get a cold, somebody will tell you have a vitamin C. It does act on viruses. It is a potent antioxidant and is a cofactor for the family of biosynthetic and gene regulatory enzymes. So it also helps on it also actually acts on the virus directly. Vitamin C contributes to immune defense by supporting various cellular functions of both innate and adaptive immune system. So vitamin supports epithelial barriers. So it's got multiple roles. So just like zinc and vitamin D, vitamin C is also important. So I still remember we had a group of students. The first thing we did when we had the first phase was that you should give all the staff who are working under us, we should give capsules. It was formulated. They will have vitamin D, regular daily allowances of vitamin D, zinc, as well as vitamin C. So that if there is a deficiency, you don't have to test everybody over the board. You can non-specifically take them during the times of stress. Then now we have dietary considerations. I just have a few minutes. I just want to tell you about it. I hope. Sorry, I have to take a little extra time. Dietary considerations from apart from the so-called vitamins and other nutrient considerations. Generally, when you have a diet, most important to consider, if you want to remove in good health, there is good proper digestion, assimilation, absorption, followed by assimilation of all nutrients associated with metabolic functions, result in good health. So what will happen? Diet must contain probiotics. There are 3 things that diet must have: probiotics, prebiotics, and antioxidants. These are things that will never be told to you in any nutritional class. But these are very, very important. What is a probiotic? It must contain some fermented food like curds, pickles, preservatives, and vegetables. And of course, we South Indians with our idli and dosa, the wonderful ways the nutritional, sort of overages and health building substances we get from this fermented. In fact, Rujuta Divekar, I think she's one of the leading diet consultants in India. She says that every morning you have a little bit of pickle. Never mind if you're diabetic. I mean, if you are having blood pressure, have a little bit of it. You get the preservation. And if you can have it without having the salt, idli and dosa are wonderful food. I'm very sure there must be some similar equivalents in the North Indian diet. Then you have prebiotics. What are prebiotics? They are called complex carbohydrates that are rich in fiber. Why is fiber so important? Increasingly why there are more diabetics all over the world, it is because they're having refined sugars, corn products, refined starches. So the absorption of sugar is so high, very quick. Fiber delays the absorption and takes it in a slower manner, so that the utility of that carbohydrate also can be more completely and more efficiently utilized. So that is one thing that is very important. So millets, sorghum, bajra, ragi, and other millets, particularly down south, there is a movement, actually generally a movement to include more and more millets in the diet instead of plain white polished rice. And even wheat is known to have too much of gluten. So not to eat too much of wheat, include these substances, mix it with your wheat, you get the fiber. So this is a very great solution for all diabetics. And I've talked about the microbiome. See here, microbiome ensures better carbohydrate utilization and balances the scourge of diabetes in India. So lagging only behind China, believe me, it's because China has more population that we are managing. Otherwise, I think we almost every, I don't know the present statistics right now, but we are not very far behind China. Be the diabetic capital in the world. Now, antioxidants are also very important. Then antioxidants are very important. There's another group of organisms. So, Kanti, call you back. I'm in class. Okay, bye. So there is the role is very, very important. See, stress in life Even metabolic activities cause certain oxidative radicals. That is oxygen substances which actually destroy collagen tissue. So these things have to be mopped up. That can only, they're called oxidative radical. They are mopped up by certain substances in the body. If you don't mop up those oxidative radicals, you find that you will have degeneration of your protein as well as changes in our DNA in our cells. So these antioxidants, usually the plant kingdom, we find that antioxidants come along with the organisms. There are so many antioxidants in our food articles which are available, and they have a tremendous effect on maintaining your health. Role of nutrition, health and disease. The most important thing is, apart from proper balanced food and other factors that we were talking about, regularity of eating must be there. Adequate and appropriate time between meals is also important. The food that you take in needs to, properly digested by the digestive enzymes, which are sequentially gone into your gut to your stimulus. And that is again your biological clock. Biological clock is set from your brain through your limbic system, and your entire, what we call pineal gland determines what you should do at what time. Particularly that which regulates your sleep. So there must be a time to eat, there must be a time to sleep. You cannot go to sleep on a full stomach. It is bad for you because you cannot sleep well. And second thing is that digestive juices are not adequate. There is pressure on your respiratory system, on your cardiac system. So all these things have been decided, and we have said that in our Ayurvedic principles have very clearly delineated how you must eat, how you must drink water, and how much you must masticate, all told to us in our Ayurvedic tradition. The structure and orderly arrangement of the metabolic processes ensure health. So they take place at particular timings. Every organ has its own clock. So you must go by those. If you do not, obey the organ clock of your digestive organs, your internal organs, how you're going to get the best of what you take in as food. It's very, very important to remember this. You cannot eat at 12 o'clock when you should have been sleeping. Things like that. It's violating natural principles of your organs. If you violate that, you pay a price. So the next thing is very important. You must understand the close association of the body with the mind. That how much stress is causing problems to the body nowadays, and how much of modern life, the Westerners have gone through it and they're coming back to our systems, and we are trying to catch up where they are. It's very sad. Cardiologists like Dean Ornish from United States was the first to recognize this. He's a cardiologist, and he found that how much havoc the mind, the stresses that they were facing was causing on the body. He recommends plant diet-based diet free from processed food. Very important. If you must eat your food as fresh as possible. The more you process, the more you destroy nutrients. Please remember that. Easiest thing to go to the burger, hamburger, they're all processed food. Why can't you bring the food fresh, cook it in the house and eat it within 6 hours of preparation? It's the best way to eat it. I know it's not very practicable, but as far as practicable, try not to eat food that is highly processed. They give you all these corn puffs, corn chips. My God, the worst kind of things under the sun you cannot imagine. If you look in the West, everything has so much sugar. Sugar is sugar-based stuff. And we should not be going there. We are now following all those kurkures and Coca-Cola and all these horrible things that we never had in our lives. Get fresh juices. And so it is something that we have to go back to basics again. Stress is very important. It causes lots of problems. And over here, it is one of the reasons why continued stress, the feeling of flight and fright. I have to perform, I have to deliver, I have to do this, I have to achieve. Constant all this on the head, on your causes deleterious effect on your body. And you will find they get gastritis because of it, because the parasympathetic system it has no time to recoup, and the sympathetic system is overstimulated. So all the time, so naturally you get blood pressure, and associated with this, so many psychosomatic diseases. And one more telling fact I want to finish off this lecture with is what is called telomeres. telomere is a genetic material, in our genes. But that telomere decides so many things about aging, about cancer formation, and all that. If the telomeres are like shoestrings, have those little edges, they get frayed and they get spoiled, this destroyed, and the end result results in Alzheimer's and dementia and all changes which can, like cancers, premature aging. So these are all things which we don't want. In fact, Elizabeth Blackburn is one such Nobel laureate who has won the Nobel Prize for this, her research on telomeres. She has written a book called Telomerase. I think you should read it. It's wonderful for all those who are pursuing science. Now, Deepak Chopra, everybody knows, is a famous physician from India who went to US, and he is promoting our Ayurvedic, herbs, as well as practices like meditation, yoga, and pranayama. And he's got such a great following, and people are increasingly following him and coming to India to adopt our lifestyle and our systems. Lifestyles, particularly with reference to meditation, yoga, pranayama, synced with very good Ayurvedic food practices. This has sparked many prestigious Western research institutions who are working now on the effects of yoga, meditation, and they use functional MRI and other extremely slick tools establish changes that are they can actually record and show. And this was what was intuited by our, ancient, intuited in the sense from their own inner, what should you say, meditation and their inner thought process. I won't say thought, it's much beyond thought. It's super thought. So it's beyond that. They have written the Vedas and the book where we read about, we just said, this is it, this is how it is. Only now, after thousands of years, after 5,000 years, we're actually finding proof. And our acupressure is one such, healing science which deals with the prana. Who knows, may outshine all these people and go somewhere and go places. Each of you needs to think. Need to think, need to work on it, need to decide and have that passion to achieve. Wish each one and everyone the best of luck, and thank you very much for this lecture. And I apologize to Agarwal ji for having cut into his time. Thank you very much and good night.
थैंक यू डॉक्टर सुशीला कामत आपके इस सुंदर लेक्चर के लिए। और अभी इस पैंडेमिक के समय में जिनको भी कोविड इन्फेक्शंस हो रहे हैं उन सभी को डॉक्टर मेडिसिन के साथ प्रोटीन्स, विटामिन्स और मिनरल लाइक विटामिन सी, डी, जिंक के टैबलेट्स और बी कॉम्प्लेक्स के कैप्सूल और टैबलेट प्रिस्क्राइब कर रहे हैं। तो यह आपका लेक्चर निश्चित रूप से रेलेवेंट था, सामयिक था अभी के समय के लिए, और आपने बहुत सरल शब्दों में कम समय में काफी कुछ बताया। आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और अब हम आमंत्रित करते हैं एक्यूप्रेशर शोध प्रशिक्षण एवं उपचार संस्थान के अध्यक्ष आदरणीय श्री जेपी अग्रवाल सर को आगे के लेक्चर के लिए। श्री जेपी अग्रवाल सर।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद प्रोफेसर अनिल सिंह जी, और विशेष रूप से डॉक्टर सुशीला कामत जी। आई एक्सप्रेस माय ग्रेटिट्यूड एंड आई salute her that she has explained in a wonderful manner the essentials, the essential roles, the roles of the vitals to boost the energy and immune system, to fight against the all sort of the antigens, pathogens, and all sorts of virals. And she says COVID is not exception to that. मित्रों, ये अद्भुत ज्ञान समर्पित है उस परम पिता की असीम शक्ति। जो आज कुछ हो रहा है वो निश्चित रूप से प्रकृति का प्रपंच है, और इसका सॉल्यूशन भी, निदान भी प्रकृति के प्रारूप जो हम सब हैं, हमारे आपके हाथों में जो शक्ति परमात्मा ने दी है, इस वेस्टर्न नॉलेज के माध्यम से हम अपने और अपने आहार को, फूड को, और क्वालिटी, क्वांटिटी, रेगुलेशन, सेंस ऑफ टाइमिंग, ये संक्षेप में 3 बात आपने कही। और ये भी कहा कि हम ये नहीं जानते कि हम भोजन में कितने कम मात्रा में हमारे प्लाज्मा और ब्लड के जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट्स हैं, जितने प्रकार के विटामिन हैं, जितने प्रकार के मिनरल्स और मेटल्स हैं, अगर आप उनका देखें तो उनका शेयर प्लाज्मा और ब्लड में बहुत थोड़ा सा है। लेकिन व्हाई दीज आर नोन एज वाइटल्स? क्योंकि सबको ये कंट्रोल करते हैं। मैं उस डिटेल में नहीं जाऊंगा कि जितने हमारे सिस्टम्स हैं बॉडी को, ये किसी न किसी रूप में कंट्रोल करते हैं। दे आर वेरी लेस इन क्वांटिटी, वेरी लेस इन क्वांटिटी, लेकिन उनका रोल जो है बहुत बड़ा है, बहुत व्यापक है। कोई ऐसी चीज नहीं है जिसको वो कंट्रोल ना करते हैं। ये ब्लड के कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट्स हैं, लेकिन ब्लड के सर्कुलेशन के लिए जिम्मेदार जो रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम है, सर्कुलेटरी सिस्टम है, उसे भी कंट्रोल करते हैं। और आज के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में जो है लंग्स और हार्ट, सारा फोकस लंग्स पे है, ऑक्सीजन पे है। और उसके बाद जो है एक्सचेंज ऑफ द गैसेस, कि कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड किस प्रकार से लंग्स के माध्यम से बाहर होती है, लेकिन उसे वीनस ब्लड के माध्यम से कैरी करता है हार्ट। और ब्रह्मांड से ऑक्सीजन लेता है। लेकिन मित्रों, आज के परिवेश में हो क्या रहा है? वायरस हमारे नाक के माध्यम से, विंड पाइप में के माध्यम से ब्रोंकाई और ब्रोंक्यूल्स और लास्ट में एल्वियोली पे जाके ग्राउंड सब्सटेंस पैरेंकाइमा को, ओपेसिटीज आपने देखा होगा कि डी डाइमर टेस्ट और सीटी स्कैन में स्कोरिंग है 3 तरीके की, माइल्ड दैट इज बिलो 10, मॉडरेट बिलो 15 और बिलो 12। rather we can say कि माइल्ड है अप टू 6, अप टू 12 मॉडरेट है, और उसके बाद जो है सीवियर है। ऑक्सीजन ऑल ऑफ अ सडन क्या हुआ कि ऑक्सीजन जो है ब्लड में नहीं जा रही। क्यों? क्योंकि पोल्यूशन, प्रदूषण, इन्फेक्शन है, जितने भी नाम देना चाहे। समय अभाव के कारण हम आपको सीधे सीधे ले चलते हैं। आज मैडम ने विटामिन का रोल, मिनरल्स और मेटल्स का रोल, और आयुर्वेदिक कंसेप्ट से रस यानी प्लाज्मा, रक्त यानी ब्लड, और तीसरा है फ्लैश, जितनी भी स्किन की लेयर्स हैं, और चौथा मसल्स और एडिपोज टिश्यू, और 5वां बोन, और 6वां बोन मैरो। आपने देखा होगा एक वर्ड है फाइब्रोमाइल्जिया, यानी ये विटामिन न केवल ब्लड को कंट्रोल करते हैं, हमारे नर्वस सिस्टम को कंट्रोल करते हैं, नर्वस सिस्टम का और बोन को करते हैं। और ये यदि प्रचुर मात्रा में नहीं है, सफिशिएंट क्वांटिटी में नहीं है, तो मालूम है क्या होगा? बोन ब्रिटल होगी, बच्चों के पैर की हड्डियां टेढ़ी हो जाएंगी, जिसे रिकेट्स कहते हैं। और ये एक बहुत बड़ी बीमारी के रूप में, क्योंकि मेडिकल वर्ड, मेडिकल फ्रेटर्निटी इसको सर्जरी, और वो भी उसमें सर्जरी पॉसिबल है तो क्योरेटिव नहीं। लेकिन आपके सिस्टम में परमात्मा ने ऐसी शक्ति दी है कि आप ये संभव है, करेंगे तो देखेंगे। आज हमारे ऑनलाइन ट्रीटमेंट में इतने अधिसंख्य पेशेंट आ रहे हैं और सबका सब फीडबैक जो है जो दे रहे हैं, तो मैं ये बताना चाहता हूं, आज ऑक्सीजन की जरूरत है, लेकिन विटामिन डी, इसको हम कभी नेक्स्ट क्लास में बताएंगे किस तरीके से बॉडी के अंदर सन रेज और सन रेज के एब्सेंस में ये विटामिन डी जो हम इसको ओरली लेते हैं, जो फैट सॉल्युबल है, पानी में नहीं है, तो उसको किस तरीके से हमारा डाइजेस्टिव सिस्टम पहले चरण में एब्जॉर्ब करता है, मिक्स करता है, दूसरे में एब्जॉर्ब करना है, और दूसरे स्टेज में डाइजेस्ट, एब्जॉर्प्शन, और उसके बाद जो है अल्टीमेटली फॉर्मेशन ऑफ द टिश्यू, यानी हमारी बोन से लेके, ब्लड से लेके, और उसके अंदर जो गैसेस हैं और ऑक्सीजन भी, अगर आपकी विटामिन डी की डिफिशियंसी है तो जो मेटाबॉलिक एक्टिविटी है, जो पूरा का पूरा डाइजेशन सिस्टम है, विटामिन हैं और एसिड्स हैं, और साथ में जितने भी बोन के सेगमेंट्स हैं, कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट्स हैं, वो क्या हैं? वो सारे मेटल्स और मिनरल्स। आप जानते हैं कि जिंक, कॉपर, इवन सिल्वर, फेरस, आयरन, लेड, गोल्ड, ये सब बहुत थोड़ी मात्रा में, मैग्नीशियम है, कोबाल्ट, इतने ज्यादा है, लेकिन वैज्ञानिकों ने कुछ को बहुत ज्यादा स्टडी की है। जिंक है, मैग्नीशियम है, ये सारी रेस्पिरेटरी डिजीज और साथ में कार्डिक डिजीज के लिए भी बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है। समय का अभाव है, मैं सीधे सीधे अगले क्लास में भी इसकी पूरी की पूरी मीमांसा आपके सामने रखूंगा, लेकिन ट्राइपोडिक और आयुर्वेद के जो ट्राई ओरिजिन है, पूरा का पूरा कंसेप्ट त्रियात्मक, त्रिस्कंधात्मक है। आप जानते हैं कि हमारी दो फिंगर नंबर 3 ये ब्लड की है और फिंगर नंबर 4 प्लाज्मा की है। अब आइए, हम फूड जब हम लेते हैं तो हमारे एंटीऑक्सीडेंट एलिमेंट को किस तरीके से हमें न्यूट्रलाइज करना है, किस तरीके से विटामिन सी को एक्सट्रैक्ट करना है, और किस तरीके से सन रेज के माध्यम से, अगर विटामिन डी का इंटेक नहीं हो पाता तो हम फूड में क्या करेंगे कि सन रेज जैसी स्थिति उत्पन्न करके और इसको बॉडी के अंदर पर्याप्त मात्रा में हो, ताकि कैल्शियम कंट्रोल्ड हो, जितनी भी चीजें हैं, और फिर बॉडी का इम्यून सिस्टम और लड़ने की ताकत, चाहे कोई भी किसी भी प्रकार का वायरस हो, उसमें लड़ने की ताकत हो जाए। तो मित्रों, वात, पित्त, कफ। वात जो है विटामिन के अब्सॉर्ब करने का बॉडी में सबसे पहला है, और प्रोटीन जो बिल्डिंग मटेरियल है, बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक्स है, ये सारी की सारी चीजें आपको मिलेंगी। लिख के दें, मैडम ने तैयार कर दी है पीपीटी आपके पास, आप उसे डाउनलोड कर लीजिएगा। और ये प्रोटोकॉल्स जो मैं बता रहा हूं, आप इसे नोट कर लीजिएगा कि बोथ आईएफ के 1-2 LHM में 1-2 LHM और 3-4 LHM और 5-6 LHM, जितने प्रकार के विटामिन और मिनरल्स हैं, ये जो भी हम फूड खा रहे हैं, इनको डाइजेस्ट करेगा, एब्जॉर्ब करेगा, रीअब्जॉर्ब करेगा, और जो इसके ऑर्गन है, लीवर है, गॉल ब्लैडर है, किडनी है, यूरिनरी ब्लैडर है, ये सारे के सारे अपने आप एक्टिव होंगे, और इनका जो फूड है वो रॉ मटेरियल है, और इनका फंक्शन है वो मेटाबॉलिक एक्टिविटी। 75% metabolic activity is performed. Metabolic is the conversion of at many stages, or that is meant for the mechanical breakdown of the food into finer particles and also chemical breakdown. मैकेनिकल ब्रेकडाउन तो हमारी दांतों से होता है, और आप जानते हैं कि केमिकल ब्रेकडाउन जो है स्टमक में, फूड 2-3 घंटे तक वहां स्टे करता है और जूसेस और कुछ एसिड्स के माध्यम से उसका स्वरूप बदलता है और उसमें से एनर्जी निकालने के लिए, उसके पार्टिकल्स निकालने के लिए कैटेबलाइज करता है, और फिर जब पार्टिकल्स को अलग अलग करके, फाइनर पार्टिकल्स को, एनर्जी पार्टिकल्स को संयोग करके एनाबोलाइज करता है। और ये कैटाबोलिज्म और एनाबोलिज्म का क्यूमुलेटिव प्रोसेस को मेटाबॉलिज्म अर्थात पित्त अर्थात परिवर्तन, ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन, जो भी हम खाते हैं उसका रंग, स्वरूप, रंग और उसकी शक्ति सब कुछ बदल जाता है, और एनर्जी रूप में लाने के लिए सूक्ष्म और सूक्ष्म पार्टिकल। तो मित्रों, आज जो है अगर हमारे प्रोटीन का, क्योंकि हमारी किडनी के फेल्योर में हमारी बॉडी में प्रोटीन का मेटाबॉलिज्म और प्रभावित होता है, इसमें हमें जो है 1-2 LHM में मोटा मोटा, क्योंकि वात 1-2 है और पित्त जितने प्रकार के एसिड्स हैं बॉडी में, आप देखेंगे कि किसी समय हम आपको हाइड्रोक्लोरिक एसिड से लेके, फॉलिक एसिड से लेके, सल्फ्यूरिक एसिड और किसका कितना बड़ा रोल है, तो 3-4 LHM है। वो शरीर के निर्माण के और उसके टिश्यूज के निर्माण के लिए अत्यंत महत्वपूर्ण है, जो हमें एनर्जी भी प्रोवाइडर है, हमारे इम्यून सिस्टम का बूस्टर है और हमारे टिश्यूज को मेकअप करता है। इसका मतलब अगर हम इन फिंगर्स को, यहां तक कि हमारे ब्रेन को फूड प्रोवाइड करता है, हमारे नर्वस सिस्टम को फाइब्रोमाइल्जिया, इशारे में कहा कि अगर कैल्शियम का एप्रोप्रिएशन, कैल्शियम हमारे शरीर में जो सबसे महत्वपूर्ण घटक है हड्डियों का, उसके कारण ऑस्टियोपोरोसिस ना हो, उसकी कमी के कारण, और उसकी अधिकता के कारण ऑस्टियोफाइटोसिस, दोनों की गंभीर बीमारियों के लिए, और स्पाइनल नर्व और स्पाइनल कॉर्ड, बोन का, अगर ये विटामिन कम हैं तो हम लाख ट्रीटमेंट करें, सर्जरी करें, और एक्यूप्रेशर से बहुत से 75% केसेस में आराम हो जाता है, लेकिन 25% कंट्रोल होते हैं जिनमें आराम नहीं होता। उसमें विटामिन डी की डिफिशियंसी, जो कि एक कंपाउंड है एक तरीके से, जिसमें वात, पित्त, कफ तीनों चीज शामिल है। तो मित्रों, 5-6 LHM वो हमारे विटामिन डी के लिए है, और ये सारी चीजों को, और सबसे महत्वपूर्ण, आपने बहुत से प्रोटोकॉल देखे होंगे, बोथ थंब, क्योंकि जब कोई भी चीज है, थंब में क्या है कि पूरा का पूरा होल बॉडी 2 हिस्से में जो है कंट्रोल होती है, पूरा का पूरा ब्लड राइट थंब में, यानी हमने 1-2 LHM, 3-4 LHM और 5-6। अब दूसरे तरीके से अगर हम डायफ्राम से ऊपर का डिफिशियंसी है तो बोथ थंब के 4-5 RLBM में और 3-6 RLBM में, 4-5 सेडेट, 3-6 टोन, और नीचे का है पैर की हड्डियों का है, ऊपर के हाथ की हड्डियों का मैंने बताया कि बोथ थंब हड्डियों में ही नहीं बल्कि जितने प्रकार की डिफिशियंसी और RES सिस्टम को भी कंट्रोल करता है। ये एक लोकल इम्यून सिस्टम हर का, जैसे पूरे बॉडी का एक इम्यून सिस्टम है, उसको एक चीज कंट्रोल करेगा, फिर RES जो है वो पूरे के पूरे अलग अलग इन पीसेस करेगा, और वो किसी ऑर्गन विशेष का, किसी सिस्टम विशेष के लिए तो RES, तो उसके लिए आपको बहुत परेशान होने की जरूरत नहीं है। ब्रॉडली स्पीकिंग, आपके दोनों थंब के 4-5 और 3-6 RLBM में, और पैर के टो नंबर 09 में सेम 4-5, 3-6 RLBM में, 4-5 सेडेट, 3-6 टोन। मित्रों, मैं आपको ये बताना चाहता हूं कि फीटस से लेके आप आयुर्वेद में ये पढ़ा और सुना होगा कि प्लाज्मा से रक्त का निर्माण, रक्त से पूरी हमारी फ्लेश का निर्माण, जिसके अंदर आर्टरीज भी हैं, वेन्स भी हैं, एम्बेडेड हैं, जिनके अंदर नर्व के फाइबर्स हैं, पूरा सिस्टम हमारे फ्लेश में है और उसकी कनेक्टिविटी हर जगह अलग अलग से है, ब्रेन से है, स्पाइनल कॉर्ड से है और हमारे सारे सिस्टम से। और नेक्स्ट है हमारी मसल्स और जितना भी एडिपोज टिश्यू है, उसके लिगामेंट है, टेंडन्स है, यानी ये निर्माण के क्रम में। और उसके बाद है बोन्स। इसका मतलब क्या है कि अगर बोन में, देखिए बोन को कंट्रोल करता है ये विटामिन और मिनरल्स, खासतौर से विटामिन D3। और अगर ये विटामिन डी बोन को कंट्रोल करता है तो मैं आपसे एक प्रश्न पूछता हूं, इसके प्रीसीडिंग स्टेजेस हैं, हमारी स्किन हेल्दी होगी? नहीं हो सकती। हमारे टेंडन्स, हमारे लिगामेंट्स, हमारे जॉइंट्स हेल्दी नहीं हो सकते। हमारे ब्लड की ताकत कमजोर होगी, इसका मतलब इम्यून सिस्टम जो है इट विल बी वेरी पुअर। और जब ये सारी चीज को कंट्रोल कर रहा है और विटामिन और साथ ही साथ प्रोटीन्स और जितने मेटाबॉलिज्म हैं उन सबको कंट्रोल कर रहा है, तो कहने का मतलब ये है कि इसीलिए अगर मैडम आपको सजेस्ट करेंगी इसकी मेडिसिन के रूप में, तो 60,000 का के 60 कहलाता है। डी राइज आदि का वो रिकमेंड करती हैं। हमारे रिसर्च मीटिंग में सी वाज डिस्कसिंग एंड शी हैज गिवन लॉट ऑफ गाइडेंस टू अस। और तमाम जितने मेडिकल फ्रेटर्निटी के उसको हम लोगों ने कन्वर्ट किया है। सारे जितनी ब्रांचेज हैं एक्यूप्रेशर है, मैं 2-3 मिनट और लूंगा। इसके बाद नेक्स्ट क्लासेस में जो अगले बुध की होंगे, लेकिन अभी मैं कुछ चीजें आपको शेयर कर देता हूं, क्योंकि अगर ये सारी चीजें मैं एक छोटे से संकेत में दे रहा हूं कि हड्डियों तक और उसके बाद बोन मैरो तक पहुंचने के लिए क्या जिम्मेदार विटामिन D3 है? बिल्कुल है। और ये जो डेंसिटी बढ़ी और सारी के सारी चीजें एक वाटर फ्लूइड जैसे लगने वाला प्लाज्मा, और फिर उसका नेक्स्ट स्टेज जिसमें कलरेशन है, ना वो फ्लूइड है ना सॉलिड है, उसका रूप जो है सॉलिड सेल्स भी है और फ्लूइड बेसिकली है और उसके अंदर गैसेस भी हैं। और थर्ड स्टेज जो है हमारी स्किन उसी से बनी और फिर जॉइंट्स बने। तो इसका मतलब क्या है कि अगर विटामिन डी की डिफिशियंसी है तो जो 60,000 का एक ऐसी डोज वीकली और मंथली दी जाती है, इसका मतलब उसकी ताकत बिल्कुल मॉलिक्यूलर है, एटॉमिक है, और वो छोटी मोटी नहीं है। उसको हमें भोजन से, या तो हम सूर्य की किरणों से मिलती है, वो हमारे पास समय नहीं है। सूर्य की नेसेंट किरणों को, सनलाइट को से विटामिन डी को लेने के लिए किसी के पास वक्त नहीं है। हमारी यंगर जनरेशन तो उस समय तक उठते ही नहीं है, और जब प्रचंड ताप हो जाता है तो फिर जो है वो सूर्य की किरणें कष्ट देने लगती। तो मेरा कहने का मतलब है कि हमें उसमें एक्सट्रैक्शन के लिए हमें, इसका मतलब सारी स्टेजेस, प्रीसीडिंग स्टेजेस, तो डेंसिटी यानी वात पित्त कफ, कफ इज दी, ऐसा नहीं है कि वो जो फ्लेग्म और बलगम उसका, यानी वो चीजें जो हो रही हैं और कहीं ज्यादा उसके अंदर थिकनेस आ गई, जमाव आ गया, तो वो टॉक्सिन्स बन जाते हैं। अगर लंग्स में जमे तो हमें क्या होता है, थक्के कहलाते हैं। और एल्वियोली में आज के समय में उसकी स्कोरिंग है कि 25% है कि 50 की मोर देन 50, तो उसे एंटी कोगुलेंट दी जाती है। और जब ब्लड वेसल्स में जमते हैं तो कोलेस्ट्रॉल जैसी चीजें, तो उसको ब्लड थिनर दिया जाता है। तो मित्रों, ये आप अनिल जी ट्रीटमेंट नोट करा दीजिए
जी,
शेयर कीजिए कि जब डी डाइमर, जिसमें हमारे एंटी कोगुलेंट यानी 20 पूरे के पूरे लंग्स में, अब कहां से ऑक्सीजन जाएगी जो ब्लड सर्कुलेट करेगा, इसलिए डेथ क्यों होती है? क्योंकि ब्लड में जो कि हार्ट को सर्कुलेट करना होता है वो एब्जॉर्ब और रीअब्जॉर्ब नहीं हो पाती। इसलिए मित्रों ये आपको देखने में सरल है और बहुत ही ट्रीटमेंट सिंपल है। हम आपको इसके चार्ट और कलर से ट्रीटमेंट भी दे रहे हैं। तो 25% के लिए बोथ स्मॉल फिंगर 0-1-2 स्पाइरल में 4-5 सेडेट, 3-6 टोन, 0-9 सेडेट। और अगर रेंज उसकी 25 से 50% यानी उसका डी डाइमर में स्कोरिंग है 12/25, तो क्या करना होगा? बोथ स्मॉल फिंगर में 0 कौन कौन सी स्पाइरल लेनी होगी? 0, 1, 2, 4, 5। ये सेकेंड स्टेज का ट्रीटमेंट है और इसमें ऑक्सीजन फ्लक्चुएट तो करेगी लेकिन इट विल नॉट गो डीप डाउन बहुत ज्यादा। लेकिन उससे थर्ड स्टेज की जो कि स्कोरिंग बहुत ज्यादा है, यानी 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20/25 है। तो ऐसे में फ्लक्चुएट इस सीमा तक करती है, इतनी नीचे चली जाती है कि लाइफ सपोर्ट भी ऑक्सीजन क्योंकि जज नहीं करती, उसके अंदर इन्फेक्शन के कारण पैरेंकाइमल लेवल पे ओपेसिटीज, वहां पर कोई चीज कोगुलेशन एकदम थक के ऐसा लगता है कि जैसे कोई पस टाइप की उसमें किसी ने प्लास्टर ऑफ पेरिस कर दिया होगा, ग्लॉसी और पैचेज नजर आते हैं। ऐसा नहीं कि वो रिवर्स नहीं हो सकते। मेडिकल साइंस बहुत मेहनत कर रही है, ऑक्सीजन देने के साथ बहुत से एंटीबायोटिक्स और उसे एंटीकोगुलेंट, और उसके बाद सुना गया है, ये हमारा विषय नहीं है लेकिन मैंने बहुत बड़े एक्सपर्ट्स को सुना है और उनसे इंटरेक्ट भी किया है, और जीवन रक्षक दवाइयां दी जाती हैं स्टेरॉइड जैसी। ये हमारा विषय नहीं है। हमारा विषय आपका इम्यून सिस्टम और इसको रोकने के लिए हम किस तरीके से मैग्नेट थेरेपिस्ट हैं, और नहीं तो चार्ट के माध्यम से आप जिसको चाहें कलर से, और लेकिन मेडिकल सपोर्ट के साथ साथ और अजूबे परमात्मा की शक्ति, क्योंकि रंग जो है वो सूर्य की किरणों का अंश है। और विब्योर, ये आप देखें, ये आपके पास चार्ट है, और जो 100% जिनमें मतलब कहने का मतलब ओपेसिटी मैक्सिमम है, वो सबसे सरल इलाज है रंगों का, जिसके ये आपके फर्स्ट सेकंड स्टेज का है। थर्ड का देखिए इतना सरल, आप इसको जो है सबको शेयर कर दें और सबको ये बताएं कि मेडिकल जितनी भी असिस्टेंस है, दवाइयां हैं, ऑक्सीजन है, उसे आप लेते रहें, लेकिन उसके बाद भी स्थिति अगर कंट्रोल नहीं हो रही है तो इसको प्रयोग करने में क्या बुराई है? और बुराई नहीं जब उसे फायदा दिखेगा। मैं ऐसे ही नहीं बोल रहा हूं कि फीडबैक जो मिले हैं, ये आप देखिए सारे के सारे मैग्नेट और कलर्स से आपको दिए गए हैं, और जो थर्ड स्टेज की है उसका कलर देखेंगे तो देख के दंग रह जाएंगे कि सिंपलेस्ट है। नेक्स्ट ऑल, जिसमें नेक्स्ट ये तो हुआ मैग्नेट से। मैग्नेट से भी बड़ा सरल है। अब देखिए कलर से ये थर्ड स्टेज की, यानी इसमें वाद ज्वाइंट में, यानी वाद ज्वाइंट और में, और फिफ्थ हॉरिजेंटल पे ऑरेंज कलर, और फोर्थ में येलो कलर, और थर्ड हॉरिजेंटल में ये जो है लाइट ब्लू कलर, और कफ जॉइंट में ये ब्लैक कलर है। तो मित्रों ये देखिए बोथ एसएफ में और एनसीएस में भी ब्लैक कलर है। इसका मतलब ये हुआ, ये कलर मालूम है किस चीज का ट्रीटमेंट है? अगर हार्ट की सारी आर्टरीज ब्लॉक्ड हैं उस पर भी वर्क करेगा। लंग्स में ओपेसिटीज हैं और दोनों मिलकर जो है एक्सचेंज ऑफ गैसेस का पॉसिबल नहीं हो पा रहा है, क्योंकि कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड बाहर नहीं निकल पा रही, ऑक्सीजन ब्लड में सेचुरेट नहीं हो पा रही है, और एक्सचेंज प्रॉपर ना होने के कारण क्या है? लंग्स का स्ट्रक्चर, उसमें जो ग्लॉसी पैचेज हो गए हैं, ओपेसिटीज हो गई हैं, जिसके कारण काम नहीं। और ये सूर्य की किरणें, और ये ट्रीटमेंट है बोथ स्मॉल फिंगर के ऑल स्पाइरल में 4-5 सेडेट, 3-6 टोन, 0 टोन 9 से, लेकिन रंगों से अद्भुत सरलतम है। एनसीएच और कफ ज्वाइंट में ब्लैक कलर, वाच ज्वाइंट जिसे हम 6th हॉरिजॉन्टल कहते हैं उस पे ऑरेंज कलर, 5th हॉरिजॉन्टल आप देख रहे होंगे कि ऑरेंज कलर है, और 5th हॉरिजॉन्टल पे येलो कलर, और पित्त ज्वाइंट जिसे हम 3rd हॉरिजॉन्टल कहते हैं उसमें लाइट ब्लू कलर। मित्रों, एक और चीज मैं बताना चाहता हूं, आप बहुत से लोग जानते भी हैं, लेकिन अभी लेटेस्ट मैं आपको ये बताना चाह रहा हूं, जिनका फीवर कंट्रोल नहीं है, एक्यूट एंटी इंफ्लेमेटरी कंडीशंस हैं, जो CRP 5 तक नॉर्मल है, और एक्यूट और इन्फ्लेमेटरी जो आज के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में 50, 60, मोर देन 100 है, और जिसके कारण हम अपनी ट्रीटमेंट की बात कर रहे हैं एक्यूप्रेशर से। हमने आपको दिया है कि 1 to 4 पित्त ज्वाइंट में, 2, 3, 4 सिलेक्ट करें, 5, 6, और या स्पाइरल में फिंगर नंबर 1, 2, 3, 4 में 3rd स्पाइरल, सेम ट्रीटमेंट। इससे एकदम कंट्रोल ना हो तो CRP का एक्यूट कंडीशन में, इंफ्लेमेटरी कंडीशन में, बोथ रिस्ट मेगा मेरिडियन में 1, 4, 5 टोन बाय चक्र मैग्नेट, और 3, 6, 8 सेडेट बाय चक्र मैग्नेट, और 0 टोन 9 सेडेट। और ये 3-4 दिन के बाद जिनको क्रोनिक कंडीशन है, अर्थराइटिस में है, कार्डियोवास्कुलर है, जिनका 3-3, 4-4, 5-5 महीने, 6-6 महीने तक भले ही 10 है, नॉट टू टॉक ऑफ द 50 और 60 और द 100, उसमें जो है जस्ट रिवर्स होगा, जो कि हम लोगों ने पुस्तकों में और गंभीर केसेस में दिया है, 1, 4, 5 सेडेट, 3, 6, 8 टोन, 0 टोन 9 सेडेट। लेकिन आज के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में उसे भूल जाइए। और मैं फिर एक बात आपको निवेदन कर रहा हूं, ये कलर से भी देख लीजिए, यदि आपको, आप स्वयं पेशेंट हैं या पेशेंट को आपके कोई रिश्तेदार हैं, जानने वाले हैं, आपने कलर भेजा, आपने मैग्नेट, हालांकि उनके पास मैग्नेट नहीं होते, कलर है, अगर असहज का भाव है तो तुरंत कलर को हटा दें, बस ज्यादा से ज्यादा ये। लेकिन इसके परिणाम जितने सकारात्मक आए हैं, हम फिर परमात्मा को नमन करते हुए, और जिस इस कार्यशाला में प्रवेश करने से पूर्व मैंने उस शक्ति को आहूत करने का प्रयास किया था, और खेमका जी के उन्हीं शक्तियों के साथ हम आगे बढ़ते चलें, और हमारी हेल्प और हेल्थ प्रोग्राम में बाय अपॉइंटमेंट आप वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग के माध्यम से निःशुल्क आपकी रिपोर्ट्स की प्रोसेसिंग करके आपको उपचार बताने का, और जो लोग, क्योंकि आप में से अधिकांश लोग हमारे थेरेपिस्ट हैं और करस्पॉन्डेंस और कैंपस कोर्स के हैं, या बहुत पुराने थेरेपिस्ट हैं, वो स्वयं अपने पॉइंट लगाना जानते हैं। कुछ ऐसी 1-2-4% हैं जिनको चार्ट की आवश्यकता हो, नहीं तो ये आपको शेयर कर दी गए हैं, इन्हीं चार्ट की कॉपी करके आप फॉरवर्ड करें और फीडबैक लें और हमें भी दें। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, क्योंकि बहुत समय हो गया, मैं क्षमा याचना के साथ, लेकिन इतना अद्भुत ज्ञान डॉक्टर कामत ने दिया है जो हमारे आपके लिए, सबके लिए बहुत जरूरी है। इस श्रृंखला को हम आगे कंटिन्यू रखेंगे। बहुत सी चीजें हैं जो ज्ञान दिया है, इसी के आधार पर प्रोटोकॉल्स और उसकी मीमांसा करके आपको अनेक तरीके से बताने का प्रयास करेंगे। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, नमस्कार। क्षमा याचना से।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर इस अद्भुत ज्ञान के लिए, जिसमें अभी के लिए जो रेलेवेंट, जिसमें एंटी कोएगुलेशन, साथ में डी डाइमर और उसकी स्टेजेस के साथ, और CRP रेज्ड के केस में यह ट्रीटमेंट, यह PDF आपको कल इसकी रिकॉर्डिंग के साथ आप सभी को मिल जाएगा। तो बहुत ही अद्भुत आपका सर लेक्चर रहा, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और यह प्रत्येक बुधवार को क्लास चलती है, आप सभी के घर बैठे ज्ञानवर्धन के लिए अवश्य नियमित रूप से अटेंड करें। और 8 और 9 मई को आयुर्वेदिक एक्यूप्रेशर पर आधारित बेसिक ट्रेनिंग होने जा रही है। जिस किसी को भी करना हो, आपके फैमिली और फ्रेंड्स, उन तक मैसेज पहुंचा दें, सभी जगह भेजा गया है जहां आप मौजूद हैं। और यह 2 दिन की क्लास होगी प्रत्येक महीने के दूसरे सप्ताह में शनिवार और रविवार को। यह नियमित रूप से पिछले 6 महीने से आयोजित हो रही है।
देखिए, मैं एक आपसे निवेदन करना चाहता हूं सभी से कि अब समस्या हमें अपने आत्मनिर्भर होने की आवश्यकता है, और इस समस्या को तभी दूर किया जा सकता है जबकि बेसिक ट्रेनिंग के लिए अधिक से अधिक आप प्रमोट करें, घर बैठे कहीं भी हो। और ये जो चार्ट हैं एक्यूप्रेशर एक्यूथेरेपी के, इनको घर घर फैला दीजिए भाई, चाहे हॉस्पिटल में हो चाहे आइसोलेशन में है, दवा के उनको लाभ मिलेगा, ऐसा हमारा विश्वास है। क्योंकि परमात्मा की शक्ति जहां से ये आया है और वो शक्ति हमारे आपके मध्य है। इम्यून सिस्टम हमारे स्वयं भोजन और भोजन के एप्रोप्रिएशन से और इस के मेटाबॉलिज्म को प्रेशर देकर शरीर के तुल्यता करस्पोंडेंस सिस्टम पे हम उसी प्रकार का प्रभाव पा सकते हैं। जो मेडिसिन कौन सी है, दी हुई है, इसलिए उसका महत्व किसी भी चीज से ज्यादा है, उसकी कोई कमी नहीं है और उसके लिए कहीं किसी जगह भागने दौड़ने की जरूरत नहीं। लेकिन मेरा आशय ये नहीं है, जहां पर आवश्यकता है हर चीज को आपको, लेकिन मारे मारे फिरने की जगह आप इसको प्रयोग करके देखें, लाभ मिलता है। नहीं तो निश्चित रूप से ये विकल्प के रूप में परमात्मा द्वारा दिया हुआ है और इसे प्रयोग करें, सीखें और सिखाएं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। इसी निवेदन के साथ हम आज आपसे
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर। और आज की यह क्लास यहाँ समाप्त होती है। आप सभी जुड़े, आप सभी को नमस्कार।